Selena, to save me a little bit of time in writing a long email, I thought I would make this little video real quick. So I need to make an apology, but I also want to explain my confusion. Okay. So the apology is you told me specifically in your first email that you were in my 111 class. Now, I must have glossed over that in trying to get to the point of what you had to ask me. And you asked if you could write about pollution. And I immediately thought you or assumed that you were in my English 112 class. Because my English 112 students are writing research papers about whatever the heck they want to write about. But my English 111 students like yourself, you are not writing about whatever you want to write about. The assignment handout says you have to write about job interview preparation and some aspect of that, some area of job interview preparation. So when I read that you were asking about writing about pollution, I was just like, oh, okay. I just assumed you were a 112 student writing a research paper about whatever you chose, instead of reading your email just a little more carefully to see that you're a 111 student. But I hope you can understand my confusion there, because if you'd read the assignment handout, you would know point blank that you are supposed to write about job interview preparation, not whatever you want to write about. So let's just forget about everything we've said since then, because we need to reboot, we need to reset, and you need to think about, you know, completing the actual terms of the assignment. So I wanted to understand what was your confusion about the assignment. So I started looking at a log of your activities. So I'm just kind of looking at what you've been doing. As instructors, we kind of get a picture of how much you're logging on the Moodle. And I mean, it doesn't look like you're logging on the Moodle all that much. But, you know, that's maybe beside the point. I want to look at, have you spent any time looking at the materials that lead up to the submission point, right? Because the only way to set yourself up for success with this thing is to read the assignment handout. Let's check this out. This is some pre-writing and some ideas from former students. It could be useful, it might not be. It just depends on how you want to approach the project, but I put it up there in the event that is helpful. But this document in particular is very helpful. Okay, so planning, organizing, and outlining your paper. And in this, you know, what this handout shows you is this is how you ought to set up your outline. And these are various versions of papers that I have read over the years teaching this particular assignment. And I've seen terrible jobs done, very poorly written papers, and I've seen okay, some good papers. And I wanted to show you, like, or all students here, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is also terrible. And you just need to kind of read through and see why it's terrible. But this is more often than not, this is what students tend to turn in, but it's still like a C-level paper. It's not very good. Not if you've read the assignment handout, you would know this is not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is a well-focused discussion about some area or aspect of job interview preparation. So an example would be this person could write about, you know, what is proper body language during the interview. That's a nice focused discussion. But more often than not, what I get from students is the three random obvious things that no one actually needs. Everyone already knows that you should answer questions smartly, dress properly, and be on time. That's not what the assignment is. You're supposed to come up with that really narrowed focus that asks you to think more deeply about the topic and to dig up some analysis. Say something that you actually have to explain. No one has to explain, you know, that you ought to show up on time. Right? We know this. But so I really need for you to look at the materials that lead up to the submission point. But I want to just get a sense of what you have looked at. So today's the 8th. So last week you were working on the maybe working on the Paulson stuff that no one did too hot on. So it looks like from there you jumped into the outline submission point. This is something from a previous week, week 1. Process analysis, the outline submission point. And it looks like you looked at that a lot. Let's just take a look at that. It says, nothing all that specifically about the whole job thing because, well, you needed to read all the things that led up to it. So that's really where you're at right now. You need to spend time with this week's content past the little quarter term exam. You need to read this one first and then this one and just go right down the line. And here's a little video of me giving you advice about, well, this is talking about this particular document and this is talking about how to succeed at this paper and how people what reasons people often don't. So your outline is due tonight, and I think I saw that you'd already submitted one, maybe. That you'll just need to delete that and submit a new one, and I would be fine giving you credit since you submitted something, but it doesn't respond to the assignment at all. So you'll need to redo it. And hopefully you have time to do it before midnight tonight. If you don't, that's fine. Just email me your new outline. And hey, look, I don't know. Some people have peculiar habits, let's just say, in online learning. And I've been told that there are some students who they just kind of look at the assignments that are due and little deadlines and click on the deadlines. I don't often put what's the word? Instructions for the task in the actual submission point where you submit. You have to engage with all the things beforehand, and that's where the course content is, and that's typically where the directions for the assignments and the homework are. So just make sure you review those and send me a new outline either through Moodle or via email tomorrow. Okay.